Hello. We are in a new gate. We now are exploring the energies around gate 3. Now, you might have noticed before we get into gate 3 that I've been changing the times that these recordings are going out. I had some feedback from people, and so I've adapted. And this is partly for the sake of more continuity, and you then, for you don't have to keep an eye out for what time is the recording going to come. It will just be planted out there at about 10 o'clock. Well, at 10 o'clock, not about 10 o'clock, at 10 o'clock every morning, BST. So you have that continuity of knowing that it's going to be there. I can just have one alarm on my phone, which is really good news. And also I have gate 32, which is the gate of continuity. So that's part of it. And also it will look after my energy. And I really am enjoying this process of going through the transits, and I want to protect my energy so that I can continue doing that going forward. So these transits then will be available from 10 a.m. And I will cover in them everything that's happened in the last 24 hours. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. It feels comfortable at the moment, but I have gate 15, so who knows? This could go to the other extreme and be posting it at midnight. We'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, at the moment, well, let's just hope it works. And please leave me a comment if you would like to. And I do hope it hasn't been too confusing getting them at all different times of the day. But it feels at the right time to do that. It's a new time, new date, new gate. And it's also it's a new foundation, isn't it? Was we're in line 1. So that brings us a foundation. And gate 3 is all about mutation and change, and it's called ordering. So yes, I'm bringing some order to my posting. Okay, so it's the 15th of April, and currently we are still in the 42 line 6, but at 21:59 tonight, BST, we move into gate 3 in the line 1. So I've already recorded an overview of gate 3. It's on my YouTube channel, so you might want to take a look at that before we dive into the line exploration. Now, above the line, it says the fundamental challenge of initiation is to transcend confusion and establish order. We live in a duality, of course, and so the gate of ordering is also the gate of confusion. And we pretty much live in a not self world, so it's much more about confusion than it is about ordering. This gate works very hard at transforming confusion into clarity, into order. But it must be said that working very hard at something doesn't guarantee success. Not all mutations are meant to succeed, and not all confusions are ever going to be made clear. There are many, many references to mutation in this gate 3 transit. It is part of the channel of mutation after all, along with gate 60, which is the gate below it in a way. If you're looking at the body graph, gate 60 is in the root pointing up at gate 3. And this is a format energy, and it's in an individual circuit. Now, it is the energy that comes in a pulse or not. Ra says that everybody who carries the 3rd gate in their design is an instrument of change. Individuality always has the chemistry of melancholy as part of its makeup, and the format gates also have the potential for depression. So those with the 3rd gate are instruments of continual change, but they are also open to confusion and depression. So this could be something you might watch within yourselves over the next 5.5 days. Are these energies arising within you? Are you having lots of change come into your life? Is there more depression or more melancholy? Just things to look at and watch out for. So this 3rd gate line 1 is called synthesis. And there's a lifetime learning which says difficulties can only be overcome when all the pertinent factors have been analysed, which is rather nice for the for a first line to have this sort of thing. So the 3rd, I'm just going to look at the 3rd gate, yeah. So it's difficulty at the beginning is what this 3rd gate is called, ordering and difficulty at the beginning. So the exaltation says the understanding that confusion is natural and must always exist before clarity can be achieved. An innate knowing that order will come from confusion. This is the first line. Now, Ra says all first lines are confused. Genetic continuity, it's just the way it is. And more keynotes for the first line would be, you've got confusion, but you've also got wonder on the other side of that. Without confusion and wonder, our first lines wouldn't really have any need to investigate anything. And with the additional keynote of fear, which also comes in for first lines, there also wouldn't be a drive to investigate where safety can be found. So these keynotes, they all have a really a solid reason for being there. And they find their way genetically through the continuity, through all of our first lines. So that's something you can explore within yourself. Have you got a first line? Where have you got your first lines? Can you sense that feeling of confusion or wonder or fear through them, the investigation of them? Mutation in and of itself is not something that can be mastered or controlled. We don't have any idea what any mutation is going to bring. Very often we don't actually live long enough to even see how a mutation is playing out. And it's not until it's been in the world for a long, long time that the results of a mutation can actually be understood. You think of any major world event, and if you look at it, it's still playing out. The echoes of it maybe, down the timeline. The change that was heralded by that mutation, it's still playing out, even by the fact that you know about it still. It's in your awareness. So we can't judge the results of any mutation or any change. It's like ripples in a pond, really. And that's just the major events. I mean, what about all those little mutations that are part of our lives? So there can be a real profundity to this gate if you want to go into it at that level. So this line is called synthesis. It tells us that mutation does not take place in isolation, and it changes all the aspects that it touches. Look at human design just as one example of that. As you will maybe have heard it said that it is a synthesis of ancient and modern traditions. And in the process of that synthesis, the elements of astrology and the I Ching and the chakra and the Kabbalah and those, they've all been mutated. They don't exist as individual traditions within the human design system. So synthesis is a basis for mutation. Now, in the detriment, we have an inability to know that order will emerge and the drive to find this knowing elsewhere. So this is about accepting that inherent wisdom of forces that we cannot control, and it's about surrendering to them, which we will actually find later on in the line 6. This is about getting out of the way and just letting it happen. Most mutations take place in that time span that is way beyond our own lifetimes, and we are not equipped in any way to grasp what the mutation really has meant to the world. So the basis of mutation in that sense is just let it go, let it happen. The third gate, the third hexagram, is about the generation of life itself. Well, it's a sacral gate, and it is about what literally brings us into the world. After all, you could look at it that we are a synthesis of our parents' bloodlines and their parents' bloodlines before them and back. And we are each of us a mutation in that sense. Gate 50 in line 1. This is the grounding force to the gate of ordering and difficulty at the beginning. Gate 50 is a splenic gate in the defense circuit, which is part of tribal circuitry. It's the gate of values. Every single gate out of the splenic system is a gate that holds a primal fear within it. And the fear here in the 50th gate is actually the fear of responsibility. So the potential here is to be responsible or not. And the awareness potential is around values. So this is the gate of the tribal lawgiver. It's the laws of the tribe that are rooted in this existential awareness. It establishes law for the tribe, in the community, and in our culture in order to give us something really stable to move forward with into the future. So responsibility and the values that are going to keep us safe as we move forward are what is grounding this third gate of ordering. The thought of mutation can be quite unsettling for many people. Knowing that it is grounded in this awareness potential of values can be very comforting. In other news, we still have the channel of initiation. This is active with the North Node in gate 51 and Neptune in gate 25. And we have no other transit definitions just now. But while looking at this, I wanted to say, and I maybe ought to say it every time, is please look at these transits in connection with your own chart. You know, you can run those charts very easily on the software like mybodygraph.com does it, Genetic Matrix does it. You can put the just now against your own chart, and then you can see how today's transit is actually affecting you personally. And always you just look at the personality side of the just now. You don't look at the design side as well. So that's something that you could introduce, because I'm just showing you these gates in isolation, but nothing is in isolation. Have you got the other end of the channel? Have you got anything else in that stream? What else is going on in the transit that might be affecting you? The moon we go through very quickly. That's likely to do something throughout the day to you. The moon actually has been in gate 62 since 9:30 this morning, and I did cover that yesterday. It stays in the throat as we're going through all these throat gates, and we'll have gate 56 at 2021 BST. This is the gate of stimulation, the storyteller, the wanderer. This is that throat gate of the collective. And it's all about experience and its stability through movement and the perpetuation of continuity through the linking of short-term activity. It is a gate that is constantly on the lookout for stimulation and for new ideas that it can weave into its stories. This isn't about facts or proof. This is about perceptions and feelings. This is the talent to spin a colourful tapestry with which to inspire and teach others. By invitation, it is a projector gate. So tomorrow morning at 7:18, we have gate 31, and this is the gate of influence. This is another logical throat gate, which can communicate a vision for a new direction, showing others how to move toward it for a more secure future. You know, this is a leadership channel, as you might have guessed, but it needs invitation to lead correctly. It's another projector gate. So how are these energies showing up in your experience today? That's what we've got for you today. These are the transits. So until I see you tomorrow for the third line in the gate 2, go gently and take care of your lovely selves. Thank you for watching. Oh, I pressed the wrong button again. I keep doing that. One day I'll get it right straight away. Yeah, take 2. Bye.